Hello guys, welcome yourselves into another episode of Road to National Master. This here will be, what is it? Game 9 of my journey Road to National Master, and yeah, I'm gonna show you guys every single game I play until I reach the goal of National Master. So yeah, this is the Brasiliense Classical, the third qualifiers, round, let me just check here. What round are we on? Round 3, perfect. And yeah, this was kind of a tough game. I've got the white pieces against a 1822. I've never played this guy before, don't know him, never seen him. And so yeah, I start off with knight f3. He plays g6, g3, bishop g7, and here I already make a slight imprecision. So whenever they play this kind of like a bishop g7 idea, they have control over the e5 square. So he can easily push e5 now and gain a lot of space. And what I should have done in this position is just play d4 and just avoid these e5 lines. But I play bishop to g2, which is okay still. It's not anything bad. It's just it changes the position into something that I probably have not as good as a chance. So here he plays d6, and now if it's not clear I should play d4, I don't know what is, and to me it's not. I play castles. So yeah, again, a second chance to play d4. And now after f5, I have one singular last chance to play d4 here, and I need to play it to avoid him playing e5 and having a huge attack. But this is the problem with just like playing your main opening lines without considering the position. Like there are little intricacies in the position that you need to be thinking of, which I really wasn't in this case. I was just playing like my normal setup that I'd play in online games, like okay, bring the knight out, pawn up, bring bishop, castle, c4, then d4. But the problem is that with c4, he plays e5 now, and I can't play d4 anymore. So that's the problem. So yeah, sorry, he doesn't play. He plays e5. So it looks something like this, which is what happens in the game. And now if I play d4, he's not going to take me. He's going to play e4, which is really aggressive. And yeah, my knight is kind of misplaced. Really, it's really going to be a passive piece and not really part of the game. So yeah, I don't have the chance yet to play d4. So from now on, I need to play a bit more slowly and accept that black has more space, which is why I play d3 here. Okay, he continues with knight c6, and it's really clear to me that white has more space on the queen side and black has more space on the king side, so it only makes sense to play something like knight a3 followed by knight c2 and then push b4 and then play on the queen side. So this is what I opt for. Knight f6, knight c2, castles, and yeah, it looks really scary. It looks like I'm just going to be blown off the board because he has a huge attack. And you're not wrong about that. He does have a huge attack, and I really should not have allowed this. But you know what? It is what it is. You get to a point where the position is just the position. You need to make the best moves from there, which is what I try to do. So I play b4, h6, and here I had the chance to play a4 straight away. I had the chance to play b5, which I think would be better since I'm playing for space on the queen side. So that would look something like b5, knight back, a4, g5. He plays on the king side, a5, something like this. I got this far in my calculation, and I really it looked really dubious for white. It looks like black is just gonna start off a massacre and just kill your king. So for this reason I play rook b1 starting off. Rook b1, g5, all the same, a4, and he plays queen e8, which is a typical maneuver here. He's trying to bring his queen into the attack. Now his queen can access the h5 square and start making some serious threats here. So with this in mind, I feel it is finally time to play for the center. So the move I play here is d4, and I was expecting e4 all along, and the reason I didn't play d4 before is because, well, d4 before, that rhymed, is because e4 was really annoying, and now if he pushes e4, I'm not really that scared of e4, which he does play. This is what's played in the game. I play knight d2 here, and notice that he doesn't have any e3 tricks because I can just take it. My knight from c2 defends the e3 square really nicely. Yeah, he can bring his queen to h5. He can continue playing on the king side, but it's going to be a bit slower because notice that the e4 pawn that he has is kind of loose because I have two pieces attacking, the knight on d2 and the bishop on g2. So you can't really push g4, sorry, f4. You can't push f4 because he'd drop a pawn most likely. So yeah, here he plays d5. I could play c5, I could play c takes d5, I could play b5, I could play probably a5, but that's a bit dubious, I think. Let me just turn on the engine and see what the engine thinks. So yeah, and the engine agrees with my plan, which I choose, which is b5. And b5 is a forcing move that forces the knight backwards. You can't take on d4, you can't move into b4. Knight a5 doesn't make any sense whatsoever because you're playing on the king side completely. Knight a5 just disconnects your pieces and makes them not that harmonious, which is really important in chess. Okay, so knight e7, the only square, and here I had to think as well. I was thinking, do I play... Okay, so first things first, I need to play in the center. I need to break open this pawn chain that he has. These are really solid pawns, and if I can break these with a diminishing move like f3, which I was considering, then this would be really good because it makes these pawns a bit more unstable. And if I take a good crack at his center, then probably I'm going to have really good chances because his king is wide open. So this is the difference. We're playing on opposite flanks, but it's always going to be risky for him because his king can be vulnerable to attacks, whereas mine is pretty safe. Even if I play f3, king h1, the king can always hide out, and I feel like I'm okay here. So, yeah, the option was either to play f3 or bishop a3. Now, if I play f3 straight away, it's not going to change anything. And I thought that if I do play bishop a3, it does change something. I was thinking maybe if I play something like f3, then he may have some pawn to e4, some pawn to e3 tricks, defended by the queen, and that's why my bishop needs to be on this this diagonal here, so that he can cover this once he plays the e3 push. But yeah, the better move would have been to play bishop a3 here. Bishop a3 has the idea of pinning this knight. Now the knight can't move, and if it does move, I'll just take the rook. So it's not really losing a tempo. I did see bishop a3, rook f7, but I couldn't really decide if this would be good or bad for me. Another thing that led me to believe it's bad is because it kind of does help black develop. So the rook is on the 7th rank now, which makes it okay for his rook to join here. So rook a to f8 in the future, and maybe that will be bad for me because I did push f3, and I am intending to capture here on e4, which could open up some lines after f takes and rook here. He's got some good pressure on the f file, so I decided to go for f3 straight away. Bishop e6 by him, and this is where I just make a huge mistake. It's really funny. I don't think I've ever mentioned this. I am a chess coach, and the one thing I tell my students every single lesson, more or less, is if you want to improve at chess, you can easily do that and as fast as possible by calculating. Practice your calculations, and this is a brilliant display of how not to calculate because I kind of didn't calculate a whole continuation, which is crazy. At this level, you really can't do that. A whole calculation, a whole line of calculation that needs to be thought out, you just can't not do that. really bad by me that I did this. And so yeah, what does black do in this position? Well, sorry, what does white do in this position? Well, first of all, you can take on f3. F f3 takes e4 straight away, and then knight takes is obviously not good. So f takes c4, f takes c4, c takes d5, and then this e4 pawn is really loose. And if he plays bishop takes, so something like this, f takes, c takes, knight takes is a move, but if you take with the bishop, then you just get kicked away. Knight e3 and the pawn on e4 will drop. If knight fd5, then I can play just rook takes, queen takes, knight takes, and this would be okay for me. And I saw this line, I thought it looked good, and yeah, the point is that the knight on e4 is covering this tactic, so black really can't go here and fork me. Whereas in the move that I play, which is crazy, just c takes d5, I literally allow him to do exactly what he wants, because now he plays knight f takes, and this is an immediate threat. So this is incoming. And the problem of this is that if I just play f takes c4 now, he plays knight c3 in between move, and he's gonna win in exchange. So I was really not happy with myself here. I really got tilted. I was really upset with this, that I missed this, and usually I don't get too emotional in chess games. I did get emotional in the first round where I tried to push an advantage, and this is me clearly in a worse position, but still trying to fight aggressively where I really shouldn't, and I play f takes c4 anyways, sacking the exchange, and he does go knight c3, queen e1 is forced, and then takes. Now, I was thinking, okay, maybe I have compensation in this position, but it's really tough to get good counterplay here, because if you think about it, what constitutes good counterplay? Active pieces. And the reason you would sack a rook for a bishop, let's say, is because that bishop is dominating the game, dominating a color complex, and just taking up, being more useful than a rook would ever be, basically. That's the justification for sacking an exchange. And here, even though my bishop has the potential to be dominant, it really isn't, because he has two bishops. So it's just, I can never see him trading off one of these really good bishops for a knight that, one of these knights that really suck. I just can't see him doing this, unless he makes a mistake, which I really can't count on. I really shouldn't count on that, but I kind of do. So knight takes b1 now, f takes. And again, another thing that constitutes good counterplay is having good attacking pieces, and I'm not going to have good attacking pieces because my knight is all the way on b1, extremely undeveloped, and he has just a free trade here. He can trade these off at any time, rook for rook, and make it really easy for him, which is what happens in the game. So knight c3, trying to get more active, rook takes, queen takes, bishop b3, and this is where he kind of slips up. Again, this is the importance of calculation. So what is he attacking? He's attacking this knight, this pawn, this knight, this pawn. Everything is under attack here. So basically what's going to happen, if he takes my knight, that's just a free knight, so I can't allow that. If I move my knight away, let's just say to e3, then there's going to be this pawn falling. And if I just protect my knight with something like, let's just say, bishop takes e4, protecting this, then he will just, what does he do again? He takes on c2, then this pawn drops, and he takes. But I didn't stop there. My calculation didn't end there. It's really important to hammer out your calculations to as further on as possible, to a very deep depth, or until you can get to the point where you can say, okay, there's literally no good moves here for white. And that's where you would end the calculation. So I tried calculating as deep as possible, and I did calculate this line of bishop takes c4, and I found it to be the best move, because after bishop takes c4, uh, bishop takes c2, like we mentioned, bishop takes back, bishop takes d4, and many people would stop here. And if you did stop here, then you miss out on the chance to play this really good e3 move. Why is this such a good move? Because now once he takes the knight, which is undefended, we play queen c4 check, and then we pick up the bishop. And now this is exactly what this is the only way I could have found counterplay in this position. The only way, and he gave it to me, which is the dominant bishop. This bishop coming to b2, this bishop coming to b3, potentially winning the queen here, and his king is really exposed. So everything that I needed to happen happened, and yeah, he started getting really uncomfortable here. And we played rook f8, bishop d3. I probably should have played just bishop b3, but I couldn't see what to do after knight d5. I had to find this queen e1 move, which was really tricky, but I couldn't find it. And then maybe queen f3, bishop b2, get my pieces active. Yeah, I couldn't find this continuation. Queen e1 was really hard to find for me. So I go for bishop d3. Queen f2 check, king h1, this was fine. And knight d5, hitting my queen. I saw all of this ahead of time. And really here I have two options. Well, actually literally one option that holds the game, but I can't even say it holds the game. The move I had to find was bishop c4, and the reason this is okay is my queen is pseudo protected because there's a pin here, but he has this really nice resource which I found for him, which is queen f1 check, forcing my bishop to capture. This is completely forced, and once I do capture, he can take my queen now. First he takes it with check, king g2, take, and even though we're equal in material, I'm not down in exchange now, he will be up a pawn, and probably two pawns, and this pawn is split. These pawns are really nice and on the opposite flank of my king. His knight is really active, and my bishop is really not. It just looks like a terrible endgame here, and probably I would have lost this really quickly. So I play queen c4 here, but queen c4 blunders mate, believe it or not. It blunders mate, because now there would be queen e1 check. We've relinquished control over the e1 square, because our queen was on c3, and now this check comes in really strong. King g2, rook f2 check, king h3, and I'm just getting cooked. The move he had to find here was queen h1. Let's just say bishop e4, trying to defend. Take, king up. There's really no way to defend. This is just lost. Yeah, and then it's mate here. Queen g2, sorry, queen g7 check, king takes h5, and then rook h2 mate. That would have really been tough for me. Fortunately for me, he doesn't find it, and after queen to c4, he plays queen f3 check, and after king g1, he offers a draw, believe it or not. He offers a draw. And of course he could play on with like queen to d1 check, but then I think I can play king to g2 and be okay. So yeah, probably not the best continuation. Yeah, queen f3 was definitely a mistake. He missed a winning chance here, and again, that's why calculation is important, guys. Never underestimate the power of calculation. It's so, so, so important. He missed a chance to win more or less 7 FIDE rating points just because of one move, and drawing actually hurts him, I think, because I'm unrated. He is a 1822. How does it work? If I'm unrated, I don't think he does lose rating, but anyways, he missed a good chance here. Calculation, guys, is everything in chess. So yeah, even if you're super positional, if you're super attacking, it doesn't matter. Both styles require calculations. So yeah, there's no way around it. And hopefully you guys manage to take something away from this video. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next round. We'll be playing the 4th round, and that will be a interesting one. So I'll see you guys there. Bye.